This simple web app to send emails is perfect for extending or integrating into your website. I'll cover Composer, PHPMailer installation, plus the app code with timestamps below. Let's start with fetching Composer from the official website. All links will be in the description and also point to a written tutorial. We'll cover the Windows installation first. The first prompt is to confirm which version of PHP you're running. I'm using WAMP on this machine, so you can just left click the WAMP icon to display the version as shown. If you're using XAMPP, I would open up your console, go to Application, then click PHP Info, and for Linux you just type in the command php-version. Once you've selected your version and check that add this PHP to your path, you may get the error run php.exe is not recognized as a command. Here you will likely need to add PHP to your environmentals path. To do this, click Start and type in System Settings. From here select Environmental Variables, select Path under the System Variables, click Edit, then add a new path. Here either paste the location of your PHP version folder or browse to it. With that done, we can close our windows and open a command prompt where we can type in php-version to confirm PHP can be accessed from anywhere. Now we can finish the installation process by following the prompts. For Linux, the process is considerably quicker and we'll install Composer and the PHP library in two commands. The first being sudo apt install Composer, and the second, ensuring that you're in the project folder, type Composer require PHPMailer /PHPMailer. Let's head back to Windows and create our new project folder where we'll put our PHPMailer library. A quick way to get to the right directory at a command prompt to enter the install command is to click your Explorer path bar and type CMD. Or, as I have, copy the path, then in a command window, navigate to our project folder using the CD command. Then, just like Linux, type Composer require PHPMailer /PHPMailer. Once the library is installed, you can see a new directory and two new files appear in your project folder. The vendor directory contains all the installed packages and the two Composer files manage them. One last step before we look at the app is to get some SMTP credentials. I'm going to use Gmail as I already have an account and the limits in sending are pretty generous at 500 per day. These can be created for free, or you could use another SMTP service such as Sendinblue, Mailgun or SendGrid. Once you have accessed your Gmail account settings, select Security and enable your two-step authentication if you haven't already done so. Then, in the search bar, type app passwords and select the search result. After authentication, type in the app name and click Create. You'll need to save that password somewhere safe as it's only shown the once. Now we have the password, the Gmail settings are as follows, or you'll have to check with your chosen SMTP provider. Right, with everything in place, we can create the app. If you're finding this tutorial helpful, please could you take a second to like this video or subscribe to my channel. It really helps me know if I'm on the right track. I'm using Visual Studio Code, but the process will be similar whichever code editor you use. First, open your project folder, in my case MailTest, and we'll create a file called index.php. Firstly, we'll call the libraries using the use command, and then require the autoload file. I've added a debugging variable to store any messages and set the sent variable to false. Next up is the boilerplate. Bootstrap is my library of choice to make everything look nice and tidy. We'll add the closing HTML tags and drop in the script references for Bootstrap. We'll fill the content with div containers and we'll use the Bootstrap card component to wrap the form with our input field and button inside. I've added a little bit of PHP logic to display an alert box if the debug variable is not false. If the email is sent successfully, the sent variable is set to true and debug is updated with a success message, and the CSS class is set to alert success, which is green. If there is an error, debug will show the error message and the CSS class is set to alert danger, which is red. This block checks if the form was submitted by post and if the email field is set. It then initializes the email variables to, which is fetched from the post variable sent by the form, and then subject and message, which we have set manually. We have also created a new instance of PHPMailer. Now we'll add the try-catch block. Try-catch blocks help programs handle errors without crashing. The try block runs code that might fail, while the catch block handles any errors gracefully, like showing an error message. This ensures the program continues running smoothly even if it fails. Our try block attempts to configure and send the email. If the email is sent successfully, the sent variable is set to true and debug is updated with a success message. If there's an error, the catch block captures it and updates debug with the error message. Now, let's go through the PHPMailer attributes within our try block. is SMTP. This tells PHPMailer to use SMTP, which is the standard protocol for sending mails across the internet. Host, this is where we specify the SMTP server we're using. In this case, it's Gmail's SMTP server. We then set SMTP authentication to true. This means we need to log in to the SMTP server with a valid username and password. Username and password. The password we're using is an application password rather than a regular account password. This is a bit more secure. SMTP secure, this is where we set the encryption type, which is TLS, transport layer security. This ensures that the email is sent securely. And finally, we specify the port number. For TLS, Gmail uses port 587. You'll need to ensure you swap out the placeholders in the username, password, and set from fields. You'll also need to set the correct path for your project. This is a typical Linux path, and this is what a Windows path might look like, not forgetting to use the / instead of the /. And one last point, ensure your form action is pointing to the name of the file, in my case, index.php. And that's how you email from a web app. There's a huge amount of scope for this, as you can use this method in many ways, such as user registration, password resets, confirmation emails, and with the help of a scheduler such as Cron, you could send notifications for upcoming calendar events or alerts if you are monitoring devices. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you could, please subscribe and like to help me grow the channel. Thanks all.